Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second part of our press conference for match day 4, game number 8. We're joined by the head coach of South Africa, Mr. Helman, MKHELELE coach. Another game, another draw. How was it out there?
Yeah, another frustrating draw. I would say, coming back to the game, I think we started very sloppy. We were not in command of the ball, especially in entering the final third. We looked like we didn't have, like the confidence. But again, we were not giving the early support, or we were unable to read, like the game to support Sibanyoni, who was dominating the aerial balls. So I would say, we lacked that confidence. Yes, we did get those half chances, but we were not, taking them, or we're not approaching them with aggression, because we were just more comfortable in dominating the possession in our own half, but we lack, the speed and the penetration through the middle. So it's something that I feel that it let us down. Yeah. The change, looking at the first game, we struggled, in the middle. If we notice the goal that was scored, an equalizer that was scored by Mozambique, we were always late. We're not in control of the central midfield. So I thought that, bringing in someone who can bring that stability, because it was the area where the opponents, I would say they had more entries in, so now it was important for us, first and foremost, to make sure that we stabilized in the middle, but at the same time, we needed to go forward, of which I feel that currently that is also something that we need to work on, because you could see that during the game today, we really struggle to find those, like those passes, especially in the central zone, to Sibanyoni, or at times Brooks. So I felt that, reinforcing there, it will give us the stability, and more especially going forward. But I would say it did give us the stability for the defensive phase. But on the offensive phase, we didn't have those many passes, that will break the lines, that will allow us to enter the final third. So that's what informed those changes.
How you fix it in that final game?
We don't have any option. Because now we're starting to see, some of the players that can also help, because if you look at Jaden, when Jaden came in, we started to have, a midfielder that can also connect or join, even though he played as a defensive midfielder role, that can join and support the attackers or the forwards, even though he didn't do it quite, consistently. We are hoping that going to the next game, we did that. That is the area that we are going to make sure that we fix it, and also, the quality of the pitch as well. Even though one can make, an excuse about it, but playing at Mandela Bay Stadium, there's a huge difference. You could see with the quality of passes, the movement, the confidence in players. But today it was a bit bumpy. I felt that it was also difficult for the players, but we can't take that as an excuse, So we will make sure that we work on our. We're going to work on our attacking phase, but specifically most in that area, because that is where I felt that we didn't release Sibanyoni a lot, yes, yes. You know, the character from the players. You know, they didn't give up. They kept on going forward, and you could see that, you know, some of them, they were struggling, you know, in terms of, you know, the mesh conditioning, you know, but they kept on struggling. I mean, they kept on pushing forward, and also, you know, in terms of the entries, you know, we did, you know, like enter the final third, but we didn't like have, you know, the full, I would say, the control and consistency. We did enter the final third, but we need to enter the final third, you know, in consistently, of which we didn't do it, and also following our plan, you know, that is to keep the ball, players moving, making those runs, and we didn't see much of those runs, you know, especially behind the defensive midfielders, or the defensive midfielder, the number 6 of this, of Botswana. We didn't see, you know, those runs, and also again, with the changes that we brought in, you know, of Mfundo, we were also expecting that since they always the field is small, so it will suit him, you know, as a player that can play in small, you know, in compact areas, that he can make those runs. You know, they did find it, but they didn't do it consistently. You know, so I felt that that is where maybe I was a little bit, you know, disappointed. But in terms of the character and the application of the team, I'm still happy with my boys. Yeah, no, I think we will have more of the off the field sessions, you know, because if we still remember, they only came back, you know, on Sunday. You know, they started training on Sunday, light training, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they played a game, a tough game, and today they played a tough game. So they are coming from off season. So for us, you know, like to push them, you know, we will be breaking them. We will be also, you know, in a position where we might kill their careers, you know. So, but what we will do, we are going to have more of the off-field sessions to work on the mental state of them. Then, and also when we train, it's not going to be a hectic training, because we still need them for the next game. We need them fresh. So if we go and do everything on the field, we might have players that maybe are mentally fit but are physically drained. So we will try to find a balance. But mostly the things that we will be doing, we will be working on, you know, the confidence, you know, because I know now, you know, as a player, you're starting to doubt yourself, you know, hey, you feel so bad, you know, I didn't score, I let the team down, you know, are we going to qualify? So it is my duty now to come in and uplift that confidence or instill that confidence in them, so that when we go out there, we go out and making sure that we try and get the maximum points. You know, you know, as I was sitting, you know, to be honest, you know, I was sitting, I'm saying that, I bring in Ashley, you know, I bring Ashley, or I'm bringing, you know, take out Tabang, you know. So now I think it's one of the things that I will have to look into to make sure that, you know, how can we bring, maybe we bring a player, that's a decision that I need to take, that should I bring him, you know, to support, you know, Tabang, because like today, what let us down today, there was no early support for all the aerial balls that were won by Tabang, you know. So if we bring someone who is a sniffer, especially the person who can bang in goals, that will be another option, you know. But I think today's game has given me, you know, a bigger now picture of the type and mostly the quality of players that we have, in terms of, now I know where they are, almost all of them, you know, by giving them those few minutes. Now we're starting to see who is where at the, you know, like at the fitness level, at the mental level, emotional level, and also at the technical level. So now I know all of them where they are. So probably we will have a very strong team, or a very competitive team in our last game. I think for me, I will just see in the next couple of days, and see who is in a right frame of mind, as well as in a good physical state, and emotional state, that I would see if that was that player, if I see those qualities at that particular moment, I would just make that decision, because we need to have players who possess all those qualities going to our last game.